We've been following all these developments here, and I do want to get to foreign market developments, including the president's meeting or Michael Pompeo's meeting in China with the North Korean leader. But I did want to address some of these other developments that Susan just raised. To Real Clear Markets editor John Tamny, Trump 2020 Advisory Board member Mark Lauder. Mark, the president has always argued, in the end, it's the economy that wins out over everyone's fears. Do you subscribe to that?
I do. I think it was coined back in the early 90s by the Clinton team. It's the economy, stupid. But we also have to recognize that the economy is tied to so many other things in a global economy. So we do have national security and other things that also play into that, which is why I think you see what Mike Pompeo is doing, Secretary Pompeo, with the Chinese. We need them with North Korea, but we also need them to stop some of their malicious activities from an economic standpoint.
Now, of course, getting tough with them means it's going to be tough sledding for consumers. It's interesting to point out here, John, you can help me with it, with the Shanghai Composite falling about 3.7%. That would be the equivalent of our Dow falling about 1,400 points in a single session. Their market's already well into bear territory, well up 20% from its highs. Of course, ours anything but. But how long can that continue?
Let's hope not too long. There's this myth that somehow the U.S. is winning if China is losing, if its markets are going down. What a dangerous point of view. Let's not forget that Nike, its second largest market is China. McDonald's second largest market is the Chinese consumer. Starbucks has 3,400 stores in China, on the way to 7,000. Apple sells 1/5 of its iPhones in China. If we go to war, if we seek to weaken China, we will be weakening the most dynamic companies in the world, and that is American companies.
When you see all of that, then, Mark, I mean, how do you think going forward this works out? Because I always look at the North Korean situation and the China trade situation as joined at the hip. One doesn't improve unless the other improves. What do you think?
I think to a certain extent that is true, but I do know that the Chinese have recently, and I say in recent years, recognized that the North Korean situation was untenable. I think so they were willing to help with us even despite our trade disagreements. But I also think that from a long-term standpoint, it's not going to be a U.S. wins, China loses. In the negotiating part of it, I think we're in a very strong position right now. China is in a weak position, which is what the president is trying to capitalize on. Right. But what we both want is a China and a U.S. win in fair reciprocal trade.
Do you think, John, in the end that I know we talk about markets that go their own way. Normally in a bull market, a global bull market, every market's going along for that. Ours has been the distinct leader here, not exclusively, but certainly better than developing or emerging markets, certainly better than Asian markets, better than most European markets, Italy in particular right now, which has been crashing of late. And I'm wondering whether that telegraphs trouble down the road that we could be missing.
I don't think so. I think markets are generally wise, but I think what it does remind us is that the U.S. was already winning on the trade front. And the reason it was already winning is that we, other than Hong Kong and Singapore, are the most open country in the world to the world's plenty. What that means is that our companies are most exposed to market signals around the world such that they're stronger, and it means that the workers who comprise the U.S. economy get the most in return for their paycheck. If we move against this, the U.S. will no longer be the global stock market leader simply because countries that basically put up barriers to capitalist market signals invariably go in the wrong direction.
All right, guys, thank you both very, very much.